everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I hope you guys have been taking care of yourself and having a good day. This look is gonna be inspired by Christmas month. Actually, we're gonna be approaching Christmas not quite soon, but Christmas is gonna be coming very soon. But this time for Christmas, I'm actually thinking of doing a series again, but this time I wanted to do like different kinds of levels, and I'm gonna go ahead and explain it right now. And I'll also explain like small part on TikTok, just so if you want to go ahead and check all the transitions out, they're gonna be linked down in my description below, and I'm gonna put the name up somewhere up here, so go check all the transitions out there. First of all, I would like to say I'm not naked, I've got a top on, so yes. Now for today's look, I was thinking of doing a beginner's makeup, which you can do for Christmas. You can do it basically whenever you want, but I just wanted today to be targeted, towards Christmas. And since this Christmas video is going to be just for, beginners, my next upcoming videos are gonna like start getting, and they're gonna increase, in like how hard the look is. For example, this is beginners, something like you can find at drugstores, something you can find like products and stuff. The next look is going to be a little bit more advanced. The next going to be advanced. It just keeps getting higher according to your level. So you can follow up and see how much you can. And if you want me to see what you created, you can hashtag glamorousgkcreates. And yeah, you can tag me. You can show me what you've created. I would love to see whatever you guys have created. So let's get into it. I've already pre-moisturized. So before you do any kind of makeup, no matter what your skin type is, you have to have moisturizer on. This is the moisturizer I use literally every single day. Before sleeping, before putting sunscreen on, before leaving my house. This stuff is really good, especially because I know my skin tends to get dried like sometimes. I wouldn't say I've got exactly dried skin. I could have like combination skin, sometimes it's oily, but most of the time I've just seen it getting dried. This one is affordable. It's like $20 to $30 dependingly. Now the next step is usually primer. Try to always make sure you have primer on. Today I'm actually going to be going with Nude by Nature. This one is really nice and soothing. It's more like hydrating. And as I said, currently my skin is pretty dry, so I wanted to go with something like this. When you're applying primer, you want to cover up your T-zone. Your T-zone involves your forehead, nose, and your chin. This is like your main part. I'm gonna try to make sure you're also blending it out to like the rest of your face too. Now that I'm done with my primer, it's nicely settled in. We're gonna go with color corrector now. This is a step which a lot of you can skip, especially if you've got clear skin, or if you feel like you don't want to go too heavy with your base. You are really free to go ahead and skip this part. Now with color correctors, I've just found out there's actually different ones for your skin. For example, if you really look at the green ones are more for like your redness and stuff. Now I don't have any pimples or anything, but recently when I went shopping, I actually asked one of my Sephora co-workers that what was going wrong. I still can't hide like my dark circles properly. He did mention that I actually was using the wrong color due to my under skin tone. Today I'm going to be using this peachy, really nice skin colored color corrector for my under eyes and hyperpigmentation, because this is like a good color for my skin tone. If you're really dark skinned, you want to go for something more orangish. If you're someone like me who has yellow under skin tone and you're a bit fair, you want to go for something like this. This one is from Sephora. I got it for around $20. It's very affordable, really easy to blend, so go check it out. Now you don't want to apply this like you're applying concealer. You really want to go ahead with like that much dots, and you're just gonna like apply it how much is needed. It's not for coverage, it's just to build up that under skin tone, just so you can use foundation and concealers to build over it. I'm going to be using the brush, which yes, the handle literally popped off of, but we're going to use the brush to like stamp it. We're not going to be brushing it, we're going to be like poking the brush in it. I forgot the word for it, but like yeah, we're going to be doing that. Now that we're done with priming up our face and the color correcting parts, it's going to be time for our actual base, which is going to be the foundation. Today I'm going to be using my foundation from HIII Beauty in the shade Macaroon. This one is really high coverage, so if you're somebody like me sometimes who prefers really low coverage, you want to go for something like Fenty Beauty. I've heard heart shaped face is really nice, but the concealers are really hyperpigmented. Now to blend your foundation in, you can use either a brush such as this one. It's like a flat brush, it's new, I'm gonna use it today because I love using them. Or you can use this beauty blender, which is literally not washed. I'm so sorry, but it's just not washed. I personally prefer both. You know, you can sometimes try to use this, sometimes this. A lot of times people use this first, you know, like spread it all around, and then use like a beauty blender, like the back of it, to nicely blend it in even more. So we can try that today. I'm taking that much first, and I'm gonna mix in some cream with it actually, to give my base a little bit less glamour. For my cream, I am not gonna be using the Neutrogena one, because as I said, that is hydrogel one. I'm actually gonna be going with this Olay one. This one is also hydrating one, but it's a little bit more calm and matte-ish. So I'm gonna be adding this with this, mixing it, and then applying it on my face. Always start with just a little bit first. You do not want to put too much, because you can always add a lot, but you can't remove it, you know. You don't have to like take it all off with like a wipe or something. And your leftover foundations, put it on your neck, and if you want, literally even on your collarbones. It's gonna add a super nice effect. Start blending it and applying more while I go. Wow, the brush feels so nice actually, you know. It's super soft and super nice. You want to get a flat brush, and using your flat brush, you're gonna be going ahead and blending it like that. Oh my god, wow. Oh man, I love this. Don't drag, just bristle it like that, you know, stipple it. Yes, stipple it. Finally remembered the word. Also with foundation, I'm leaving this area. As you can see, this area should only be concealer, which should be 2 shades at least lighter than your actual foundation. Now that our foundation is nicely settled in its light, I have no idea what the hell that is. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next step, which is going to be the concealer. Today I'm gonna be using the Born This Way Multi Sculpting Concealer by Too Faced. This is really amazing. Before I used to use Tarte, and this is the concealer I really recently got. And this one actually has some skincare ingredients in it, such as eye creams, vitamin C, and I think even retinol oil, but I'm not really sure. I'm gonna try covering up a little bit from the front, in the inner corner like that. You can also put some right here. You know, it's gonna add like a really nice lift. Now with concealer, you wanna let it sit on for some time before you actually blend it in, so maybe like 10-15 seconds. And until then, you can either move to other steps, or you can just wait like me. Okay, it's been time now, and I'm gonna start blending in my upper lip first. For your beauty blender, try using the damp sponge. Damp sponge means it's gonna be after washing it, so as you guys can see, it's like nice and squishy. It can't be really dry, it can't be really wet, like the water is soaking out of it. Now using your pointy side of the sponge, or you can use a brush too. There's specific brushes just for blending concealers. I'm going to be using a sponge today. Try not to drag it. As you can see, I'm just blending it really nicely. See how nicely covered it already is. You're going to try dragging it to your eye. And now with creasing, I really want to tell you guys, if you've got natural underlines, your eyes will crease. I've got naturally underlined, see these lines, my eyes will definitely. Let's move on to the other eye, and we're gonna come back with that. Another good thing I've also recently learned is setting your face with setting spray in between your steps, not just at the start or at the end. So today I'm gonna be using my MAC Fix Prep and Prime, and I'm gonna be spraying it, drying it up, and then moving on to the next step. Using my damp beauty blender, just pressing it in, and just see the difference that it makes. Now we're going to be going ahead and setting our face. I'm going to be using this really big brush. There's like a whole kit set that you can find at Kiss Cosmetics. For setting my face, I will be using Maybelline Euro's Mineral Powder. It's really nice, it's drugstores, and for those who don't know what drugstore stores are, they're actually stores which are like your local stores. For example, something that are just located around you, not like Sephora or makeup. With setting your face, you have to know that you have to dust off the excess, have just a little bit, just enough to set your face. You do not want to cake, you do not want to bake, you just want to set your face where it is. Now the next step is going to be contour. Now there's 2 different types of contours. One is going to be cream contour, and one is actually powder contour. You can use either of them, they both work fine. I personally prefer to use powdered one and like pressed ones for glam looks, and whereas, you know, I'm going a bit more heavier with my looks, and days I'm like, oh, I want a bit more natural, a bit more dewy, a bit more glowy looks, I like to use more cream products. So today I'm going to be using my powder contour. What you're going to do is, this is actually a really nice trick. The starting of your ear to the middle of your eye is where you want to put your contour. So it's like, you guys see this natural line? Everybody has that. You're going to put your brush somewhere, and when you get like this natural line, you're going to start to put your contour, and you're going to try to either blend a bit up or just put it right on it. Contour shade is also really important. I used to use like this really dark one, but it made me look really ashy. So I feel like it's really important that you go ahead and also pick out the color for your skin tone. Now, even with your nose, this is also optional. You do not have to do your nose if you feel like you're not confident enough yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do my nose. If you want to see that, I'm going to put it up in the process. If you do not, you can just skip forward to the other parts. Now that I'm done with my contour, we're gonna go ahead and set slash bake our face. Now this one kind of comes like with this dried puff. You can buy that online. I've seen a lot of people doing that. I personally take a little bit and then first of all just blend and make like that line, as you guys can see, like that one, and then put more powder on it. Doing this exact same thing on your eyes. I'm gonna first nicely set them up, and I'm also gonna drag it on my nose sides, because that also is the area we need to brighten up. I put extra amount in the inner corner. Now our next step is gonna be the brows. Some people tend to do their brows slash eyes before doing all of this. Me personally, I just always build up this way. For today, for filling in my brows, I'm gonna be using an eyebrow dip from HIII in the color medium brown actually, and I'm gonna be using this brush from $1 Million Brows, and it's like this really nice brush. You do not want to overfill them. Now, me personally, I like them filled usually this way. My brows are naturally filled. If you're somebody, who has really light or thin brows, you might want to watch like tutorials of how to actually draw them, because me personally, I haven't had that experience yet. I'm going to be using the same concealer that I use under my eyes to nicely clean up the brows. Now, rather than going ahead and using super tough and advanced colors, I'm going to be going with colors like really neutral colors, which I feel like you can find from the drugstore, or which I feel like you probably already own. I'm going to be using this palette from Kiss, and I'm going to open it and show you guys the colors. This is what the palette looks like. Now, I don't want to use too many advanced brushes, but I feel like it's good if you have 2 to 3 different kinds of brushes, small one like that, maybe like a puffed up one, maybe like an angled one, just to, create details. I'm gonna go ahead and take this brown right here. It's like a really nice dark brown, and put it right on our crease. Your crease is like right in the corner, which I'm just pointing at right now. Now I'm taking like this nice puffed up brush, but it's still like a bit angled. And I'm gonna take this shade right here, just take a little bit, tap it on, and then just wipe up the excess, and then use that to blend the dark brown up. Okay, and let's do all the steps on this eye. I'm gonna do them off camera, and I'm gonna come back. Okay, now that these 2 eyes are done, they're really nice and naturally blended. I'm gonna go ahead and nicely cut crease this one with the same concealer that we used all about. Now the trick to the eye concealer is actually you're gonna put some right in like here. You're gonna look up, let your eyelids touch, and there you go. I like to extend it just a little bit because I do seem to have a little bit of hooded eyes for some reason. And that's what it looks like compared to this side. Now let's do this side off camera and come back. Now usually we would add like somewhat glitter in it. So today we're gonna be using the shade. I'm thinking of using this shade right here. Now usually I would use this really nice flat brush, but because I know some people, especially beginners, might not have it. At one time I didn't either. I used to use my finger. So today we're gonna actually use our finger. So we're gonna just dip our finger in it, and we're gonna actually go ahead and apply it on our eyes. Look at how nice this is. Now to fix little areas, I am gonna be using my brush to get in those kind of areas. Now nearly lastly for our eyes, we're gonna go ahead and take the same shade, like the brown, and we're gonna put it and blend just this area a little bit, just so it doesn't look so harsh line. Okay, now that the palette is done, we're not fully done with our eyes. Now usually I would put my eyelashes on, they're like huge and stuff. But because I know some people don't even know how to put eyelashes on, which is completely okay, I didn't know how to do it either. We're gonna use mascaras and curlers today. The mascara that I'm gonna be using today is actually from Maybelline. This is one of my favorite ones. I literally don't even need any kind of curler with it. So I'm gonna skip even the curler and go straight with my mascara. Look at the difference this makes in these eyelashes and these ones. Now my upper lashes are fully done now. Now we're going to use a brush to wipe off all the excess powder. Now you're going to use the same shade and drag that on your lash. Now I'm somebody who literally loves glitter so much, so I'm also going to put some glitter, a really nice bright one in my inner corners. Just so now we're going to be going ahead and blushing our cheekbones. Now there's 2 types of blushes, as I mentioned. There's either cream or powder, which is something I'm going to be using today. Today I'm going to be using this shade right here. It is a little bit more neutral, it has a bit more bronzy look to it. You can either use it to lift your face, or you can just apply the apple of your cheeks. Sweep it up. I personally like to use a sweep it up because it does add like a lifted one. Now nearly the last step, which is actually highlight. There's 2 types of highlight, as I've mentioned before. There's either liquid highlight or there's either palette ones. Now I know a lot of people don't actually have like highlighter brushes either. You can either use your finger, or you can either use your beauty blender. Highlighter always goes right underneath here. I like to use like a little bit more lighter color than what I would use in my face and just make a small dot like that. Now because our eyes aren't exactly as heavy, you know, you can go with whichever lip color you are usually preferably, you know, comfortable with. I personally like to use red, you know, really nice red, especially because, you know, it's gonna be time of Christmas soon. Nice brush. I'm gonna apply this off camera because I can't talk while applying lipstick. And I just like to add a little bit of lip gloss. Now you can just go ahead, take a setting spray and set your entire face. I hope you really like this look that I've actually created into a series. I might be in love with myself, not gonna lie. Anyways, I hope you like this look as much as I did. This is one of my first ever tutorials that I'm doing, you know, for beginners. So I'll see you guys in the next video, which is going to be a little bit more advanced, but if you want to challenge yourself like what I have been doing for like nearly like the rest of my life, come join me. Like this video, share this video, comment down your favorite part because that's what everybody in this community does. Bye guys! Bye!